Welcome to the EDAP 689 class. This class seeks to help teachers understand the power of the professional learning network. This class takes as its mantra, you can't have a PLC without the members having a PLN. And so what this class intends to do is to help you build a PLN that is all housed online through a web-enabled space called a wiki, where all of the tools that we will be using in this class will reside. So you have one place that you can go to see all the information that you need to see. Let's go through and help you understand the ideas behind a professional learning network. As you can see, this is the expectations that we now have for teachers and technology in their classes. One of the sad things about it is that most school districts do not provide that up-to-the-minute PD that allows teachers to stay current. We argue that the PLN, when done right, fills that void. So this is a definition of PLN. So when you think about your department being an example of a PLN, think of your department, even though it's probably called a PLC, that it's made up of a group of individuals who share lesson plans, share ideas. It's also a place where information is passed through to the various teachers in your school from either the principal or from the district personnel. But as you can see at the top here, it says any group of people sharing the same profession or interest. Now, the PLN basically is an example of what we call the 5 apostasies. And apostasies is described as an abandonment of what one has voluntarily professed, a total desertion or departure from one's previous understandings or practice. In other words, you're ready for something new. So when we look at the professional network, those apostasies are this. Teachers no longer have to wait for a system to identify or solve their problems. They're empowered to do it themselves. Teachers in geographically isolated places are no longer intellectually or professionally isolated. Teachers can have their professional questions and problems solved now, not at a predefined space and time when it may or may not matter anymore. And we can harness the collective intelligence rather than restricted by our own prescriptive job titles, thinking outside of the box. And the education systems can crowdsource content, knowledge, and ideas. Think of all of the resources that are out there. The power of the PLN is you get to decide which one of those resources you are going to use. Frictionless media. It means that it allows us to form PLNs with more people much more easily. Building a wiki takes 5 minutes, but yet suddenly you own a piece of the internet that others can find you and you can share with others. And frictionless media is for communication. It's for keeping the conversation or the conference or anything where you have a group of people who are exchanging ideas. Keep that going. And it's to keep the conversation alive and moving along. Why should you email when you can text or Twitter? It's an interesting problem that people spend a lot of time talking about, is how text has sort of overtaken the email. Well, the reason is simple. It's because of its immediacy. I can send a text. I tell my students all the time, don't send me an email, send me a text. You'll get a much quicker response time. And it can become one-to-one versus one-to-many. In other words, you can be a part of a conversation that's going on not a part of a group that's having a conversation. And then there's knowledge management. The whole idea of knowledge management is to connect to people quality knowledge as well as people to people in order to increase understanding. All knowledge grows from you sharing ideas with others and hearing what they think about. And having learning content used and distributed by learners might be more important than how it is designed. This is why Twitter works. We don't really, if you've ever been on a Twitter account, it'll drive you crazy. At the same time, though, the content is what keeps coming back. So here are the stages of a PLN. You lurk, you skim, you kind of look around, you join, you follow some people, and then you start asking for help. You start putting your ideas out there. And then all of a sudden your ideas get a bounce back. People start saying, what did you mean by that? Or you see that your tweets get retweeted. Oh, what a wonderful experience that is. Getting something started. And then you start joining everything possible. You join every Twitter thing that has to do. You subscribe to RSS feeds that are about everything. And then you become overwhelmed and you think about dropping the whole thing. But if you see the power of it, if you see the strength in it, you will find the right balance and start eliminating the chaff and only paying attention to the real gold that's there. So we're going to talk a little bit about TPAC. TPAC is all about the affordances that teachers create through playful interaction with their curriculum. And in this class, we will use the following tools in playful interaction with the ideas. We're going to build a wiki space. And that wiki space becomes the piece of the internet that we own. It's our personal space. Doesn't cost you a thing. But because of the way that wiki spaces work, everything that we're going to talk about, our Twitters, our RSSs, our various Pinterest accounts, all these things that we'll play with, they can feed through the wiki space. And so therefore we have this one-stop shop that becomes our PLN. I'm not going to jump into the various examples here. Those examples live in the modules that we're going to be taking a look at. But let's see if I can jump into this one, because it really is a nicely done wiki space. And it's not going to let me. That's okay, because you can see it when you go into the various modules. We're going to create a Twitter account, and this will be under the module called Who I Am Connected To. We're going to learn how to leverage Twitter so it becomes a powerful way of receiving resources and opinions and ways that we can become more informed as teachers. We're going to have something called Who I Listen To, and that's all about the RSS. RSS stands for Real Simple Syndication. It is an amazing ability for you to go out and source information and, like a magazine or like a newspaper, subscribe to it and have it delivered to your wiki space at no cost. And these can look like text, they can look like audio files, they can look like video files. And then one of my favorites, the Where I Go for Resources. We're going to take a look at Scoop It, and we're going to take a look at Pinterest. This is probably the hottest current trend right now in PLNs. And what I love about it is, to this day, my Pinterest account is huge, mainly because I have so many ideas that I pin. And it's probably one of the best ways for you to get really good, solid resources, lesson plans, worksheets, class ideas that you can turn around and use almost immediately. And we probably won't spend very much time with the Edmodo portion, just to have a quick understanding of that Edmodo is a way for you to have an on-site place to build conversations. Okay, I'm going to stop right here because what we're going to see from the rest of this is resources that you can use in building your are you building your PLN? So this class is all about you going in, following the modules, creating things. All the directions are there in video and in paper form, in PDF form for you. And it should be a very simple class. I hope it is. Of course, if you have any questions, you will know how to get a hold of me. It's all right there in the syllabus. The easiest way to get a hold of me, like I said, is through my text, 502-457-2937.